As we all know, Aspyr has recently remastered the classic Battlefront 2 collection, and after playing the game personally, I'll be giving my thoughts whether if you should buy the game yourself, if it lives up to the hype it was given, or if it's simply just another resale and nothing more than that. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, I'm a Star Wars Battlefront 2 enthusiast that spent countless hours perfecting my skills in the 2017 version of this game, and I enjoy exploring new ways to use the mechanics that EA gave us and then implementing them into real games. So when I heard about the remaster of the 2007 version of the game, I was excited because that means there's a whole new range of mechanics to explore and then experiment with, and I must say it didn't disappoint. The combat system is completely different to the 2017 version, although it is rather clunky, which is something I have to talk about if you are considering to buy this game. The settings are rather limited and the controller input is locked into exponential curve. What this means is that how fast your camera moves does not depend on how far you move the analog stick from the center, it depends on how long you've been holding it down, which results in a rather clunky feel in my opinion. This means that it's impossible to do faster flicks, which makes the hero combat rather odd, although it isn't terrible for aiming. And when it comes to aiming, again, with the weird settings they have and the zero recoil on the reticle, it makes everything feel rather odd, but there is a very large amount of aim assist when you get into a certain range, which will make aiming super easy. However, due to the fact that run and gunning, which just means you're shooting while you're moving, doesn't have any detriment on the bullet spread, you can still be very accurate just by strafing to adjust your aim, and you can hit some nasty headshots with some of the more precise weapons like some of the blaster pistols. The game itself is larger than the 2017 version ever was after years of updates. It comes in at over 30 gigs, which is actually surprisingly large for how reduced the graphics are compared to the modern games these days, and there's more maps than the 2017 version had. There's also a better hero roster, although the heroes aren't as in-depth and most of the abilities are kind of just copy-paste, so you'll have a similar force push and a similar saber throw for multiple heroes, rather in the 2017 version all the heroes had their individual abilities, with only some of them resembling each other. The game is quite different to the 2017 version, with similar game modes such as Hero Assault, which is pretty much like Heroes vs Villains, except you can play the same hero multiple times on each team, but there's also other modes like Galactic Conquest, and a rather entertaining mode in the single player section, where you can strategize on the galactic map where you want to send your forces, and then spawn in as a trooper on the ground to win the battle. I think that the game itself is still very entertaining, and it brings the charming Star Wars feel that the 2017 version used to give. However, if you're expecting Battlefront 3 when buying this, you will be disappointed. The game is still definitely from 2007 and hasn't really received any updates, just a sort of fresh look, and even then, the graphics haven't improved much. The game is definitely entertaining and it has perks that the 2017 version never had, but it's rather clunky and very unpolished is a good way to describe it, so whether it's worth the price tag that it's been given is up to you to decide. One thing to note is that if it is how it seems and they're just going to resell this game and then forget about it, I'd imagine that the multiplayer online service is going to die out fairly quickly, given that the way that they're doing things isn't that efficient. Instead of there being separate servers for different regions, you create your own server or you can join others. The way that this is done results in there being lots of empty lobbies that have 2 or 3 players when it's meant to be 64 players in a game. Finding a server where your latency isn't too high can be a real challenge, especially if you're from a region like Australia where you're isolated from the rest of the world. So I don't think that the online multiplayer will last very long, in my opinion, unless they make some major changes. But yeah, these are just my initial thoughts after playing the game for an hour or two. Maybe they'll start updating the game and make it so that all the things can start running smoothly, like they would in Battlefront 2017, and at least for now we have an online multiplayer game, even if it isn't perfect. So yeah, thanks for watching, I hope you learned something new, and if you did, feel free to subscribe for more content. If this game stays alive, I'll be making more content on it, including tips and tricks and other stuff like that, so if that interests you, make sure to subscribe. Alright, I won't drag on the video any longer, have a great day, and I'll see you out on the battlefront.